So we're at the semi-finals of the Arena Racing Northern Flat, and it was a particularly interesting and accurate preview from the two guests last week. Joined once again by Paul Lawrence and Joe Keneally. Gentlemen, very good tipping last week. Some great observations, and all in all, I think it was a pretty good night's racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good indeed, Floyd. Yeah, and great to see Ice on Fire back, and yeah, there were some big names there, and good to see they've all progressed really.
Right, well, what we'll do, we'll crack in and in the first instance, just have a quick review of that first round and see what we make of them. So, gentlemen, into the first heat, which obviously there was so much discussion about following the withdrawal of Tenpin, but which very much took away the interest from Ice on Fire, obviously running from track 2. Paul, talk us through it. Did the race go pretty much as you expected?
Well, it did in the fact that we thought that Ice on Fire would be prominent. That's all he really needed to do was get somewhere near the front with a decent start, and all eyes were really going to be on where King Bruno was going to run. And I think we'll see that he probably steered a course lane 3.5 to 4, really, King Bruno, and Ice on Fire got that lovely run into the turn, showed his pace, and it was quite apparent that King Bruno showed equally good pace, if not slightly better, down the far side, and maybe just intimidated Ice on Fire a little bit. And it's a bit like his first day back at school, isn't it, Ice on Fire? And I suppose a little bit different. You'd expect him to come on massively for it, and he battled on really well to win. And also, probably pertinent to note that Glenn Lara Mack ran really well to qualify from the outside berth in 6th.
So, Joe, moving on to the second heat. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, obviously all the talk was about Havana Class and how he would come away, and if he managed to get to the front, then obviously we thought he'd win. And my concern was obviously having, in my opinion, two middle dogs inside him in 1 and 2, Paradise Prince, and I think it's evident to see that Paradise Prince should have been seeded more of a middle runner. Really, he moved off on the run up and round the bend, but yeah, we said that 3 had to take a bullet break, Havana Class, and look, it's exactly what he's done again. He's shown plenty of pace to clear the inside runners into the bend, and then once he's led and Jamarian Liberty turned behind him, it was always a matter of how far he was going to win. 5, Adrella Jims ran a massive race in defeat, to be fair, but for me he's badly drawn out there. I think he's in 5 again in the semis, and he definitely took an edge in towards probably lane 2 to 3 going into the bend, and then he tried cutting the bend inside and had to go outside again after a bit of trouble. But no, it was a massive performance from the winner, and we keep saying every week he's getting better and better, and he's just showing that as well. And he's got a lovely draw in the semi-final.
Looking at the third heat, I know I think you were both quite sweet on Frankie's Jet last week, running from track 4. He pretty much goes you expected.
Yeah, Joe was. I gave Frankie's Jet, but that was Joe's tip. But I actually went with Nadura Dutch in track 1, but I think it's pertinent to watch Frankie's Jet here because I think he pretty much lost his back legs. He's not really a clean breaker anyway, but he didn't break clean here at all, and he showed really nice pace, all-round pace, and he just got pushed off out the second turn as well. So it's interesting to watch it because he can definitely improve on the time that he posted if he gets that clear run. You'll see here 3 Potent Touch on the inside for Angela Harrison. Just ran off a little bit at the second turn and took his ground. Nadura Dutch, you'd probably have to say, although he could break better, and that was kind of witnessed in his trial back, he had every chance really, and I thought Frankie's Jet was a very good winner. Droopy's back up running his usual solid race to qualify, but I think you can mark up Frankie's Jet as being that little bit quicker.
So, Joe, the fourth heat, I know you were quite keen on Pacemaker Ted, weren't you, in trap 6?
Pacemaker Ted had every chance, and I think picked 5 out of 6 winners, and he let us down for the roll up. But no, he had every chance. To be fair, he's come away okay. He can break better than he has. But look like Power's a fantastic competition dog, as we keep seeing. He's so consistent. To be fair to him, Save Me Paddy's took him along from the first bend onwards, and then to be fair, I did think that 6 would show a little bit more middle pace here to get in front and go on to win. So, yeah, he's run okay. 6 again. He's got a nice draw in the semi final, but I was still confident, even coming around the third bend, that he was going to win. But looked like Powers won over 640, and he's a strong running type. And yeah, they'll be happy that Six is qualified because he can definitely break better than he has there. And if he ever led around the corner at Newcastle, I'm sure he'd win. But yeah, they'll be happy with that. And to be fair, Gary Ferguson, now be delighted with Save Me Paddy as well. You know, he's his first run over here. He's took him along nicely, and I'm sure he'll get stronger for that run as well in the semi-final.
So, Paul, the fifth heat, I think we decided was pretty much the least competitive of the six last week. As it was, Glory Kalara, trap 1, went to trap the 11 to 10 favourite, but Mingler's Popeye was the one that caused a little bit of surprise from trap 3.
Yeah, well, it was actually my anti-post pick. So Mingler's Popeye was my one success of the opening heats, really, because I made him favourite and ended up getting a bit of 9 to 2. So to see him pop out the way he did and clear Killia Phantom was a big bonus for PL. But he showed what you might call a willing attitude, and he did edge in, actually. This dog had a middle seed originally, but he definitely wants to be sort of lane 2, really. And he just chopped across Killia Phantom, who I thought ran really well, to be fair, for Bobby Thompson, and probably showed signs of putting his head in the air a little bit. Mingler's Popeye, I think there's plenty in the tank from this dog, and hopefully Stuart and Kelly and all the team back there at the kennels will keep him straight on the straight and narrow, really, because he's definitely got a bit of a quirk to him, but he's definitely got plenty in the locker, and that could see him progress and progress well throughout the comp.
He almost looked like an unraced puppy, didn't he? In his action, he's very, very high head.
He was very green. His action was very, very gangly, and that again, he's going to learn and improve. You would hope from that, Floyd.
So, Joe, moving on to the last heat, and obviously it was a great deal of anticipation in Jaguar Macy from trap 2, went to trap's 11 to 10 favourite.
Unbelievable price, really. I think she may have drifted to about 2.3 on Betfair at some point, and that was enough for me to get involved. I thought it was a decent price, and yeah, it was all about what she'd do at the break, whether she'd be able to clear Betty's book, and she did that convincingly. And she's gone 3 lengths quicker than Havana Class, who to be fair bombed out and made all, and to go 3 lengths quicker than him just shows what a really good run this was. She's got different strings to her bow this bit. She's shown that in the final of the Puppy Derby, where she come from behind out of the second bend. She's shown enormous pace from the second bend onwards, and as she's done at Monmore and she's done here, she's able to get off the front, and when she gets off the front, there's nothing that'll catch her. She really is a superstar bitch for Graham Rankin, and I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. They'll be happy with Pinpoint Villa as well, who I put up as he flatters to deceive a little bit in races, and he's run an eye-catching race in behind. But for me, that's kind of what the dog does. He looks okay in behind. He flies around in trials. He looks okay in behind in races without really winning as many as he should have. So, but they'll be happy with that. And yeah, she's going to take some stopping Jaguar Macy in the semis, although she is in a really warm heat.
Yeah, I mean, you see her perform like that, and she kind of looks a different class, doesn't she? You can really see she is absolute top draw when you with a performance like that.
Well, she's just beating the best, and the final at Monmore was really good, and she put them to the sword straight away. And she done it in the Puppy Derby. It was the Northern Puppy Derby probably weren't a stronger competition as Monmore. It never really is, but the way she done it, you take nothing away from her, and yeah, she's obviously done it there again, and I'm guessing she'll be favourite now going into the semi-finals. But yeah, she's an absolute super bitch.
Paul, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, interesting and probably fairly competitive. I would say this would be the most competitive of the second round semi-finals, and I made it between Look Like Power and Frankie's Jet. Made them joint favourites around about the 5 to 2 mark. I thought that Frankie's Jet ran really well in his opening heat, and as I said, you could mark him up for a little bit quicker than the actual 28.60 when he went. So that was a good run. He's still got to get that run through. There is a bit of early speed in the shape of 2, 3, and 4. I thought maybe they could cut each other's throats and Look Like Power could just sit on the rails. I thought he ran really well. He actually bumped with Save Me Paddy in his first round heat, and now he's got a better drawn on the inside. He could easily come sweeping through late and pick up the pieces if Frankie's Jet can't get that run early doors. So I think all things being equal, I suppose my tip would be 1, but I think 5's a live danger.
Yeah, Joe, just looking even at the times, I know times only tell a certain story, but looking at you've got 4 of the qualifiers have done calculated 28.60s and the other 2 have done calculated 28.80s with only 3 spots between them. Very, as Paul says, very competitive, yeah?
Yeah, it's a really competitive race. It's a good race as well, to be fair. You know, there's a lot of class in this race, and I just thought that maybe 2, 3 and 4 were all drawn the wrong way around. I could see 4 edging in Nadora Dutch. I'd say Pinpoint Villa ideally wants 3 or 4, and obviously Save Me Paddy. I think he's probably got the early to get across from there, but yeah, I'd have Save Me Paddy in probably 3, where he is Nadora Dutch in 2, and Pinpoint Villa in 4. So I thought 5 was really, really well drawn here. Frankie's Jet, you know, as Paul said, he did it well last week in the heats, taking it up at halfway, which we thought he would. And I thought he could maybe lead by halfway again in this race. He's shown good early. There was nothing to say that Nadora Dutch would turn that form round in terms of early. I think 5, to be fair, showed more early than Nadora Dutch. So, yeah, I could see Frankie's Jet taking this, and like PL, I made it between 5 and 1, and I'll reverse the forecast with Paul. I'll go for 5 to beat 1. So I think there'll be 2 qualifiers from this. But as Paul said as well, it's a really good race and really competitive.
Right, well, you've talked your way into leading off on the second semi-final, which I wouldn't fancy doing, to be honest. It's all down to you.
Really warm, to be fair. I'm going to go with Jaguar Macy, as we've just said in the race, the review from last week. She's pure class, who was majorly impressive last week when blasting out and making all in 28.28, which was 3 lengths quicker than Havana Class, as we've said. You know, the comeback of Ice on Fire was remarkable, to be fair to Connection. It's an unbelievable story, and good luck to them with him. But I just think that 3, I think she's shown a little bit more zip, to be fair, to the corner than Ice on Fire, and I think she can lead off the front. And I don't think King Bruno, although as fast as he is and showing plenty of pace to the third bend last week, he won't be for going past Jaguar Macy down the far side like he did Ice on Fire. So yeah, I fancy Jaguar Macy, to get her head down and make call. And I think 6 Pacemaker Ted's really well drawn, to be fair, outside. You can see why maybe people might fancy 2 or 4 to finish 2nd to 3, but I'm going to go with 6 Pacemaker Ted. Really well drawn. And as I mentioned earlier, Adrala Jim, he did edge in, to be fair, going into the corner last week from 5, and I can see him doing that again. And all Pacemaker Ted will need to do is break level to get a clear run, and I think he can maybe follow King Bruno around, and I think he'd catch him for 2nd. So it'll be 3 to beat 6 for me.
Paul, I was thinking about this. I mean, we both got a long time in this business. Can you ever remember a comeback like Ice on Fire? Anything? I mean, we've seen quite a few broken hocks. I mean, there was famous like Billy's Bullet came back from a broken hock, and Mark's I Am the Breeze, I think she came back from was it broken hock as well? There've been several top class dogs, but a severe gracilis. Jimmy was saying that the dog lost a third of his gracilis. I mean, in terms of muscle injuries, I don't think they get any worse than gracilis, do they?
No. I must admit, you know, he's one of those high profile dogs, Floyd, that everybody likes, and he's got lots of big race wins on his CV. He's just sort of he is almost a people's dog as well. It just seems as though everyone got behind the Ice on Fire bandwagon, and he was well supported to be, you know, the Derby favourite, and unfortunately had to be pulled out. And Jimmy tried to get him there, but it just didn't work out. But the fact that he's come back and he did come back firing as well, because it was a good solid performance that he put, a good battling performance as well. I'm hoping that he can improve, and I'm hoping that he can go forward and progress. I haven't got a lot between him in my tissue between Ice on Fire or Jaguar Macy, and I think Joe's probably right in that you're probably better going with the bitch that's actually in good form and been tried and tested in recent times. Whereas there's that kind of back of your mind with Ice on Fire, will he come back to his best? I actually wrote down as a tip, and I won't change it now because I'm going to go with Ice on Fire. I think Joe's gone with Jaguar Macy. I did make Jaguar Macy slight favourite, but I think my heart says Ice on Fire, and I really hope he pops out and leads all the way.
Yeah, it's you have to admire Dave Sprague and Jimmy, because they're kind of on a hiding to nothing with this dog. There's a lot of people. I spoke to Jimmy a few days ago, and he said that there's been a lot of kind of bitterness and little snide digs about oh well, it's all very well coming back, starting back, but it won't be long until sort of the wheels come off. Rather than people embracing it and going, do you know what have they got to lose? The dog, short of him embarrassing himself, and that would never have happened, because the dog would never have got back on a track unless Jimmy was absolutely convinced that, that we would at least see a very good version of Ice on Fire. But I think it's amazing that people are prepared to show a little bit of sportsmanship and go, do you know what? We'll go with it. We'll take our chance. We're confident enough that we know what we're doing to actually to see it through. I'm a massive fan of what they've done.
If you can't, I'm sorry. If you want to give digs like that, just go and take up a new sport, man. Seriously, like go and play bowls or something where you can only blame yourself for what you do. And seriously, it's just pathetic. And there's plenty of that around in this sport, unfortunately. But yeah, just take your head for a wobble and sit in a room on your own or something like that, and think about what you've come out with, because that's just embarrassing, to be fair.
Yeah, I said to Jimmy, I said I personally have heard nothing but positive. But the Irish have a great word for it, don't they? Begrudgers, and I think we get a few in this industry that I don't know, maybe have never achieved a great deal, and they just assume everybody else is lucky or resent any success they have. Anyway, moving on. Who fancies tackling the third semi-final?
Yeah, I'll have a go with this one, because I think this dog in track one, Havana Class, is ideally birthed in red, and I think he has got the best early pace in the competition. So he's got his draw to air his wares, and I, for one, would like to see him win his semi-final. I'd like to see him get one in the final as well, because I think that's where he wants to be. Desperately wants to be, and we've had a lot of seeding kind of queries and debates. But Havana Class is one of those greyhounds that is a joy to behold. His early pace is to die for, and he's just the sort of dog that I absolutely love. And to be fair to Rab and Liz, they have got this dog improving. He's only a young greyhound, July 19, by a sire I don't know a lot about, World Class, and yet he has got phenomenal early pace. And again, another dog that, touch wood, they keep him sound. This is a dog that we will be seeing in the Derby at Toaster, all being well. I mean, it's going to stretch him a little bit, and he is a little bit vulnerable late, but he will be getting stronger as he gets older. He is certainly a Derby class speed dog, and I think he'll take a world of beating here. Obviously, for my anti-post pick, I have got Mingler's Popeye in second. He's going to need to get a good break like he did in his first round to clear Phantom again. But I'm pretty sure if he takes dead aim and keeps his eye on the prize, he will be closing Havana Class down near the line. So they were the kind of two greyhounds to probably take out. But really, Havana Class, all things being equal, start, lead, and win.
Of course, there is a former famous son of World Class who had a bit of early. Can you remember who he was?
I was hoping you were going to tell me.
Think Seamus Cahill. Nice brindle dog.
Go on.
Jimmy Lolly.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
He was a world class dog. And not only that, he was a world class dog, and he was a British bred as well. Of course, any of those.
I must admit, doing all those videos, I did mean to go and check, and in my intensity of watching videos, I didn't. So I'm pleased you pulled that one up for me.
Yeah, well, it's not very often. I mean, looking at, I love it to see all those ones. You sort of remember them. I think one of the famous ones I remember from a Derby final, and of course they came on start was Tap Watcher, and I think every single line of form that you could see was a one until the final, and he was done I think a short head in the final, wasn't he? Was it Sidnall Scott?
Yeah, the Australians would say he's building up a picket fence.
Yes, I love the expression. Joe, now you can't possibly go against Havana Class, can you?
I want to go one further than Paul and say that this dog has got the most early in the country. For me, I can't think of anything that on a level break would lead this dog to the corner with a good draw. And you know, there's plenty of decent dogs, and it's a bold statement, but I'm happy to back that up. I think this dog's just got serious speed. And going back to Perry Bar, I've never seen a 345 in my life, to be fair. So and I've been going to Perry Bar for years. We used to train there and stuff. So yeah, this dog's got the most early in the country for me. And the scary thing is he is getting stronger and stronger. And you get early pace with a dog who's starting to stay a little bit. You've got a serious weapon on your hands. And to be fair to Liz Rabb and Brendan and the syndicate, they've got an absolute machine here. And he's perfectly drawn. It's literally looks as simple as come away, lead around the bend, make call. And I'm going to go with 6 Glenlara Mac to finish second to 1. I thought that maybe if 3 didn't lead, then 6 ran well, to be fair, beyond Ice on Fire and King Bruno last week. He did run really well. And again, he shouldn't have any issues clearing nice as Ice and Calzaghe Edward. I think he can get a nice run to the corner. And I think if maybe 1 led and 3 followed that round, I do think 6 would catch 3 for second. So yeah, it's going to be 1 over 6 for me, and then all about the draw in the final. But yeah, it's a cracking race, and let's hope all the big ones get through, and we can talk about a really warm final next week, because there's some seriously good dogs left in this competition. So hopefully we can get a good final next week. And no, I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. It's a really good night's racing.
I think so. I mean, the one point I wanted to add, just as a thought, we spoke, I think it was in one of our Zoom calls, I certainly was one of the calls, about people are having a little pop at Arena for the prize money for the Grand Prix. And it is only fair to say that they bought the Northern Flat back that had disappeared and had become £1,000 when GRA could be bothered to put it on. And it is now back as a serious race. And you can't just, it's all very well having a pop, but you've got to acknowledge as well when they do it well. And to bring back the Northern Flat is a definite big plus point for arena racing.